Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Hairy Muppet, and this is the fifth and final match, the ace match between TLO and ThorZaIN for Series 3 of this King of the Hill tournament. This is the Kaspersky Arena for July, and yeah, these guys have been going absolutely nuts against each other, and wow, we actually have a pretty huge map here with 4 spawns, so it's going to be interesting to see. But I'm guessing we're going to have some very, very heavy macro opportunities here. Some very, very early command centers and stuff like that. So yes, we'll have to see how that works. And yes, looks like TLO is, I'm guessing, going to be going for his patented hatchery and then pool approach. It's not really patented, because if it's patented, then that means that he invented it, which I don't know if he really invented it. But he's definitely been using it quite a lot, so 14 hatching to 15 pool or whatever the hell it is. And yes, ThorZaIN, we may very well be seeing a very fast command center before barracks, because why the hell not on this map? I mean, TLO could still scout him out very early, but even if he does scout him out, manages to get the drone over to his base first, I mean, yeah, it's going to take so long for any sort of offensive force to get down there, so you might as well build a command center early, and it does look like that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to get command center straight out here, building it on the high ground, but why not? He can get a barracks here, and then he can sort of wall off the entire thing. And yeah, let's talk about the previous games for a second here. TLO, just absolutely insane macro in the first game, overwhelming ThorZaIN. ThorZaIN, he sort of fought back a little bit in game 2, and they had a huge macro war, each player just going absolutely nuts, and finally ThorZaIN managing to get the win against TLO's Broodlord tech switch. Our third game, TLO just hit back once again. He had a beautiful unit composition. It was basically Ling Infesta, and then he started getting the ultras out, and ThorZaIN was just Marine medevac all the way, and when you have Marines and your opponent starts getting out ultras, it is not pretty at all. Yeah, fourth game TLO actually tried a 6-pull, and oh, it was just so hilarious. He's actually sent out 3 drones ahead with the 6-pull, tried to make it work. ThorZaIN did some excellent defense with his workers and a couple of Marines that he managed to get out, and yeah, so very, very awesome stuff there. And yeah, now we are on to game 5. So TLO tried to finish it off nice and quick with a 6-pull, did not work, and now we are going to be going macro heavy all over the place. And this is the sort of map where you get a very, very early third base. I'd not be surprised to see a third base before the 5-minute mark, just from TLO, because I mean, he's playing the same map that ThorZaIN is playing, and so if ThorZaIN thinks he can get a command center before barracks, then TLO is going to be thinking, well, I can get a third base before the 5-minute mark. Maybe a little bit later, but I have seen players get a 5-minute hatchery, and there goes the drone. This drone is going to be getting a hatchery. I don't know if he's going to make it before the 5-minute mark. Oh, it's going to be very, very close. Yes, he has done it. Hatchery before the 5-minute mark, and meanwhile this command center has got it orbital, is moving on over there, and look at this, man. He is not even worried about a scout going off, about guys coming into his base. He's just not worried at all. But TLO does finally figure out where exactly ThorZaIN is, but yeah, what has he got to send at him? The answer is absolutely positively nothing. So each player is just going to be getting his macro on, and both players are in a very, very good position to start getting some insane economy in the next couple of minutes. You just have to keep an eye on the income tab. TLO is going to be in the lead. ThorZaIN will start to catch up a little bit in the next few minutes, but I think as soon as this third base is completed, TLO is just going to explode out the number of workers, and yeah, ThorZaIN definitely should be considering a third base before the 10-minute mark, and look at that, he's actually getting one. I don't know if he's going to move it out to a third location. I'm guessing he's just going to build workers off it until he gets some sort of forces out to actually be able to defend the third base, because as a Terran, you cannot just throw out a third base and start mining off it without some sort of defensive force. TLO, the Zerg player, can try and do that, simply because they're so much cheaper and you can get them out so much faster, but it's a lot harder with a Terran player, because of course Oh, just manages to get up at the last second, so that is a lucky creep tuber. But he actually shoots at his own Hellion to wipe it out, so great little bit of micro there. But yeah, as I was saying, I mean, with Zerg player, you get out the third base nice and early, and it actually helps defend itself because, of course, you can have more lava, you can build up a bigger army with your third base, so you actually need another hatchery to help get those forces out. Whereas with the Terran player, the third command center does not do anything but build SCVs, so it doesn't really help anything at all. Scans a little bit better, but if you get 3 command centers and you've only got 2 barracks, then you are definitely a little bit top heavy in terms of the economy, and you need to get the production capability to get the forces out to actually allow you to defend that third base. And a little bit of a Hellion death squad going around. They'd love to receive the creep, but at this point in the game, I don't think he wants to really use up that many scans to actually try and see things going down. So yeah, he's just going to be running around trying to snipe some creep tumors, trying to snipe some lings. He's going to get some very nice ling roasts here. The ling's trying to kill some guys, but not quite. They got this one down pretty low, but yeah, they're just trying to get the Hellions occupied, I guess. Keep them away from the third base, and meanwhile ThorZaIN doing an absolutely fantastic job of keeping these Hellions alive and receiving the creep as well, although he didn't quite get that one. The Ling sort of distracted him a little bit because there are quite a lot of Lings on the field here. And what these guys got? They got 1-1 just about to come up. And they got such a large number. Look at that, just juking back and forward. The Hellions managing to survive, but they are going to have to run here. They've got no hope of staying alive, and I do hope... Oh, look at this. Widow Mines. Yes, ThorZaIN should be fine. Yeah, the Zerg player not going to push in at the moment, but he is going for a crap load of Lings at the moment. He's going to go for a 4th base quite early before the 10-minute mark. We have seen earlier, but this is quite early, and yes, he's going to go for some Baneling busts, it looks like. He's going for Baneling speed. He is building some Banelings, and generally just building a shitload of Lings. So maybe going for a win in another couple of minutes, just bust on in here. But of course the Widow Mines are going to make it very, very hard for Ling offensive to really work. You did see the Widow Mine here though, so that may cause him to reconsider his options at this point. But I mean, even if these Lings all die in the next couple of minutes, he's got his 4th base up and he's going to be happy. And meanwhile he is blocking this third, and this third is way too close to comfort for the Zerg area. So the Zerg is going to push in, going to try and make it happen, and he needs to get these Widow Mines down ASAP. He needs to burrow them. He's not burrowing them at the moment. There we go, they go down, and oh, the Widow Mine hits. He's trying to move away. He lost all of his Banelings, but the Ling's still going to be in there. They've still got a couple of Hellions and some Marines, so I mean, ThorZaIN should be able to hold this off. And any further, look at all these Widow Mines, man. They're all on cooldown. Doing a great job. Actually self-exploding there in the Widow Mine burst. So great job there by TLO, getting rid of those Widow Mines. And he's going to snipe a couple of Overseers. Oh, this one may get away. The Marine's just going to keep on pushing in. He's going to keep receiving the creep. He does not want to creep Heightway going into his third base. So, yeah, doing a great job there. Can't quite see this creep tumor though, but good job nonetheless. And TLO, man, getting a 5th and 6th base. He has got this top right corner of the map totally to himself. And he knows that since this base is up here, that ThorZaIN is going to keep all his attention on this west side of the map. He is not going to care about the north or east side of it. And meanwhile, he's got a massive amount of Banelings. He does have Baneling speed. And this base is a little bit open. The wall isn't even up. He's got to get the wall up, and he's got to move his forces down to try and pincer the Zerg army. He's just going to roll in there, and all of these workers are going to be in a lot of trouble. But going down there, the Banelings are trying to decide workers or Marines. They did not make the right decision. They tried to go for the Marines, and they changed their minds, but the workers were already out of there. And meanwhile, the Banelings are chasing these forces. All of the Marines going down, so now they're going to go for the workers again, and he is going to have to hold it off here. He's got some Widow Mines, he's got some Marines, but yes, this base, he's just going to get more Banelings. He really wants to get in there and start wiping out workers, but so far, most of the workers for the Terran player have survived. I think he saved almost all of them. He's going to try and push in there, but these Banelings could wipe out these Marines quite easily if he's not paying attention. Nice Widow Mine hit there. And ThorZaIN continuing to hold off this offensive with Widow Mines. And look at this, has he got another winner? He does, he does. He's going for the Lings instead. If he hit that Baneling clump with that Widow Mine, it would have been so awesome. Unfortunately, not doing it though. These guys moving in here. Where are the Widow Mines? He needs a Widow Mine hit on these Banelings. He's not getting it. Or just blowing up the Widow Mines there. This Command Center is going to have to back off. And meanwhile, the drop ship play is going to start happening. And this is the problem with expanding so aggressively, is that the Terran player can just drop anywhere he wants, attack anywhere he wants, and just start taking shit out, because the Zerg cannot be in every single place at a time. So yes, it's going to be quite a pain in the ass. And we do have the third base coming straight back down. Maybe he should get a third base here, but yeah, the Overlord's seeing the 2 medevacs running out, so he's got to be worried about the far northeast side of the map. He's got Overlords absolutely everywhere, because why the hell not? And here we go, going to be pushing in with Banelings once again, and the Terran player is still reeling from that previous Baneling onslaught. He has got up quite a decent amount of army though, and he has got quite a decent amount of upgrades. Look at this, 2-2. The Banelings, the Lings coming in here, they only got 1-1, so he's almost got 2-2, but not quite, so the Terran does have the upgrade advantage. Widow Mines just obliterating this army, absolutely obliterating it, getting all sorts of good hits off, and the Zerg player just got to back off there. He has no chance of doing an attack with those awesome Widow Mine hits. But here we go, Banelings coming in here, just shredding that army. And there we go, from one awesome defense from the Terran player to another awesome defense from the Zerg player. And he's going to try and lift down. He should be able to wipe out a queen with these forces, but look at this. This is just a open buffet for these Terran forces. Going to drop down, wipe out all these drones unless TLO starts paying attention. But right now he's paying attention to this third base. He really wants to get this down. If he defeats the third base from the Terran player, then that is going to be all she wrote for this game, because the Terran cannot survive on 2 bases at the moment. And look, the Banelings coming in, doing such a great job at wiping out all the Marine forces, but yet ThorZaIN just continuing to try and keep it going, and the Banelings running in. They're going to get a ton of workers. He managed to save most of them in this medevac, so great job there. Meanwhile, he did the drop down there. This hatchery is going to get wiped out, and nothing he can do about that. All his forces are too far away. But he has managed to push the third base away. He actually completely defeated it, I think. And ThorZaIN looking like he's in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble right now. And here we go. He's going to try and hold this off here. So the Lings just continuing to press in. However, he does not have any Banelings. It's all Lings right now. So he may be able to hold it off. These guys need to get down there though. They need to start saving the SCVs. The SCVs all going down. We are 71 to 27, and that has got to be it, man. I mean, just too much economic damage was done in that display. He's going to do a beautiful attack down here, but he's not going to be able to take down the drones he needs. Not in this amount of time. The Ling's just taken too much damage here. The Ling's just wiping out too much, and he's got 3-3 on the way. The Marines already have 3 armor, not 3 weapons, but man, ThorZaIN just, his economy has been hit too hard, and his workers are just too low, and he could drop all he wants, but he is not going to stop the big macro machine that is TLO from pushing into his base and just wiping everything out in a matter of minutes. Because yeah, look at this economy, man, 77 to 27. There is no way you can win once the numbers get that high, and unless TLO falls asleep, he has basically won this game. And yeah, he lost a hatchery up here, but he's still got this one ready to go when he starts to mine out his second base. He's actually still mining on the first, so he's technically he's mining on 4. He isn't quite mining on this, but he has got expansions to spare at the moment, and he's just going to start getting some ultras out. Of course, ThorZaIN having been going for a pretty much a majority of Marines, just to deal with the massive amount of Lings and Banelings, because of course Marines are a lot better against Lings than Marauders are. But once the Ultras start coming out, that is going to work very, very badly in the disadvantage of ThorZaIN, because we're just not going to have the Marauder numbers, and this is exactly what we saw in game number 3, except with no infestors. TLO had a bunch of Lings. He was keeping the Ling harassment on, keeping it going. And yeah, ThorZaIN went for a ton of Marines, and then bam, the Ultras came out, and ThorZaIN was just like, what the hell do I do now? He could not get Marauders out fast enough, and he did not enjoy that game. And it looks like the same thing is going to happen here. Here we go, the Ultras coming out, the SCVs. Oh, what a horrible time to be an SCV. They all die right there. And a very nice attack here, but he's just going to get pushed away. So many spore crawlers, and that is going to have to be the GG. So TLO doing a great job there. Incredibly aggressive expansions. And yeah, he even had 2 there that he wasn't really using. And I mean, ThorZaIN went out, he dropped off, he took him out, and TLO's like, yeah, you know what, I wasn't really using those, so go ahead and take him out as long as you're not attacking my actual expansions. Meanwhile, doing the awesome pressure on the third base, constantly knocking it down, and yeah, finally, is pushing in there with the massive army, wiping out everything that ThorZaIN had, and really when he pushed in here with all the lings, all the banelings, and he wiped out so many workers, that was pretty much the end of the game right there. ThorZaIN kept limping on, but in the end he was defeated, and congratulations to TLO for taking this on and pushing into the final series. So far, nobody has won 2 series in a row. It has been knocked over, and it's been actually a sort of a circle of life. We had a Protoss kill a Zerg, then a Terran killed the Protoss, and now the Zerg has come back and killed the Terran. And who have we got? I think it's Crass. I can't remember what race he is off the top of my head. I believe he is Terran. Actually, I believe he's Terran, and I will double check that, but we are going to say that yes, it is going to be another ZVT at the end of this, TLO versus Crass. And yeah, if I got Crass's race wrong, then I do apologise, but we will be checking that out next, and yeah, I'll catch you guys later. This has been Hairy Muppet.